Hey, Quilt Nation, Quilt Marine here. So we're talking about the boot quilt. So we're moving on, okay? We're moving on to the applique process and the way it works in my head, okay? I mean, there's so many different ways you can do applique, and all of them are great. But for me, because I'm basic and I can't overcomplicate myself on stuff, this is the simple way I did it, okay? So on the wall, I have my own eagle open anchor, okay? So what I did was I traced it out on tracing paper, right? But remember, we gotta reverse this, okay? Because it's going to go on fabric. So I had to trace this and then reverse it. So what I did was I traced out every individual piece by itself, okay? Every individual piece. Now the fouled anchor, the rope that creates the fouled anchor, we're going to do separately. Let's worry about that later down the road, okay? Well, I'm just worried about the big pieces right now, okay? These big pieces. So I traced out every big piece, and then I brought it over to my trusty dusty light board, okay? So on my light board, I would put that piece, and then I would trace it reverse on my media, on my heat and bond light, okay? Because the heat and bond light has a rough side first. The rough side, you can feel it, it's textured. And that's the side that goes down first. Okay, so I had to reverse the pattern because when you put the reverse side down on the material, let me show you my material here. Remember, we're doing the gold on black states, okay? We're working from the back side, okay? So we got to put it on here first on the back side, and then once I bond it, then I'll cut it in detail, right? I'll cut it in detail, and then on the front side I'll have the shape of what I just cut out. All right, so this is the part that we're on right now. So as you can see, I have my eagle's wings right here. I already did this part of the anchor, all right, the fouled anchor, all right. This is heat and bond, and this was tracing paper. This is what I took off of the wall. Now this is what I'm going to work with on my material. I hope I'm not losing you, because it can, like, I mean, I was like not losing sleep, but you know, you go to bed thinking about how am I going to do this, and how do I do it in such a manner I could teach you how to do it and not like overcomplicate it, all right? But the way my brain works, this is how I got to do it, because it's simple and it's not hard. The hardest part for me is going to be making sure that on my fouled anchor on the wall, right here, I want my text to read evenly, all right? I want my states to read evenly. And see how the anchor is this way? I still want my text reading evenly, all right? And these are individual pieces. So the challenge will be, you know, angling this in a way that it reads evenly, but I'm not worried about it, so you shouldn't worry about it, all right? Unless you're doing this too. And if you're doing this too, give me a call, all right? But that's what we're doing, all right? We're putting this on top of the boot, and then we're gonna bond it, all right, with the heat and bond light, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the edge with a blanket stitch, zigzag blanket stitch, all right, to make sure it's on there, and then we're gonna quilt it. So when I quilt it, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trace around this when I quilt this on the free motion, all right? That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it simple because we have a back side to this quilt, and I'm gonna be using on the top, I'm gonna be using a green for my free motion, all right? Because the green's gonna match everything else that's going on top of the quilt. And on the back, on the underside of the quilt, it'll be a white thread. I was gonna use a clear, but everyone was like, ha, don't do it, don't do it. So for a first timer, I am a first timer when it comes to using clear thread and a translucent thread. I'm not gonna do it because I don't wanna destroy the other side of the quilt on something that I have no experience with, and just putting it on bobbins it was ripping me apart. So I'm just going to use a basic white on the other side, because the other side's going to be mostly a white pattern, and we'll keep it simple, okay? So on the next video, what we're going to do is I'm going to trace the eagle's wings out, all right? So you can see my process, all right? I'm going to freehand trace the eagle's wings and try to use some of my my light board in doing that, all right? Because I'm keeping it simple. I want to keep this simple. We're going to get it on, and then we're going to free motion, and we're going to have fun with this, okay? This is going to be an awesome quilt, and I can't wait for everyone to see it, okay? So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And remember, it's only fabric and it's only thread.